Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one and only Bitcoin. We will dive into altcoins a little bit. And this is going to be one of those dedicated videos where we're going to be talking about Bitcoin consistently, altcoins consistently, what's happening around the world. So, this one will have this special little logo. Listen, right? If you are new, then we will do a small recap very, very quickly. We can see Bitcoin has decided to change momentum in the beginning of 2023, right? We kind of had this sideways downwards movement, and then 2023, we started to go up. Fast forward a good amount, we can see that we pumped a good amount all the way to roughly, let's just say between 73 to $57,000, right? We were ranging for a few months. People thought, oh no, this is bad, this is the end. But the reality was we were actually just going sideways, kind of diagonally ranging because we were looking to turn this roof right over here from this and this into a floor, right? So we went sideways roughly for 6 to 7 months, and then we expanded. We had a very nice expansion. Then, of course, we had January, February, March kind of sell off, right? Mainly February and March. A lot of people were panicking, but we stated on this channel multiple times that this was a simple fundamental pullback to continue further up. And we can see, right? We were right. The reason why I was super confident at the time that this was just a simple fundamental pullback, ladies and gentlemen, despite tariff news and people getting overconsumed with news, is because in terms of just trading, right, we had this low, we had this high. The markets like moving in staircases. So what did we do? Well, we created another high, right? But we needed to pull back. And it would just make the most sense fundamentally to pull back to kind of just retest off of this general zone. So we did that, right? We did that. We pulled back, right? And we created this low. But we can see, ladies and gentlemen, that we, boom, created a staircase. After we created these lows, you guessed it, we continued to push higher to currently now create these highs. Now that we're all caught up, let's see what is going to be happening next. We knew overall that there's going to be more Bitcoin expansions. Why? Because the 3-month candle ended really, really good. We know June was really, really important for us to end good, right? And you know what? It did look concerning at one point. Halfway through June, I was saying, well, we need to start pushing back up. Otherwise, this is not going to be good. And we can see that by the end of June, right, we closed somewhere around $109,000, which was really, really good, right? The 3-month candle looked extremely healthy. We can see just in terms of basic fundamentals, right? If we take it from even all the way down here, we have a low, we have a high, we have a low, we have a high, we have a low, we have a high, we have a low, we have a high. We can see that we have been staircasing consistently for the last 2 years practically, right? 2023, 2024, and actually even 2025. So for the last 2.5 years, we have been in this nice bullish uptrend, on the 3-month. And here's the deal, people, right? We are actually reaching a very, very critical point. In a way, this is make or break. The reason why I say this is because if we look very, very closely, we can see that based off all the highs, right? Based off all of the previous highs, we are looking to be touching a very, very critical zone. Now, let me just draw this up a little bit more accurate, right? But you get the point, right? You get the point. We have the highs of 2017 over here. We have the highs of 2021, right? And even you could say late 2021 as well. And of course, 2024 and 2025 candles right over here. But we can see this is actually a very critical moment because this is our biggest resistance zone. Okay, this is our biggest resistance zone. So there's going to be two things that happen. One, we start to really fail to go above, let's say 118 to 120,000, and Bitcoin starts to reverse and it calls it a day, right? We slowly transition to altcoin season, right? Altcoins play out, right? Altcoins play out. Bitcoin sells off. Maybe Bitcoin comes back down to, let's say, roughly 85, let's just say 85 to 95K mainly, right? Bounces into a certain zone, tries one more attempt, maybe goes higher to something like 140K, and then we have the official cycle ending. The reason why I say this is because this is a possibility. This is a decent possibility, okay? Where we kind of just respect this resistance, right? And then we kind of start transitioning to an altcoin season. The reason why I say we come back all the way here, because on a 3-month chart, this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful 3-month institutional candle, which usually, right, you usually get one nice bounce off a big institutional candle. Not only that, we know if we go to a different Bitcoin chart, right, we know that there is a gap around $92,000, right? Around $92,000, we can see that there is a gap. So if we were to simply just respect this 118 to 120K zone, and start crashing, then there's a good possibility that we have the transition for altcoins and we do pull back eventually to roughly, let's just say, 90K, 88, 87K, somewhere here before we make another attempt at trying to break these highs, right? That is a real possibility, okay? That is a real possibility, and it's something that we must consider. Okay. In the events where we kind of don't sell off and we don't reject too much, there's also a second option, right? When we go look at this, if we do kind of start going sideways, let's just say around this, like I said, 118 to 120K mark, we kind of start building a support, then there's a good chance that we break out, right? Boom. Let's say we kind of just zigzag here, we break out, we come back, we might zigzag here a little bit more. And if we do respect it, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to fly like you've never seen Bitcoin fly. Why? Once again, we would be above the biggest resistance ever. Right now, this is a roof. Okay, so this is really, really hard to conquer. Luckily, here's the deal, right? When a roof or a floor gets hit multiple times, in this case, it's a roof, right? Because it's our top. The more it gets hit, the less stronger it becomes. So there is a good chance as well that this cycle is the cycle where we actually break through this roof. Now, if we break through this roof, there are two options. Either number one, we fake out, right? We break through, we go up an extra couple thousand, and then we slam extremely hard. And you'll know because Bitcoin might reach something like 125K, and next week it might be back to 112. Then we'll know 100% that was a manipulation candle. Of course, we'll need confirmation, and of course, that would have to play out, but we'll know the difference. Okay. If we break through, we sell off a little bit, but we start respecting that 120K zone, ladies and gentlemen, right? The moment we start flying again, we would flip the biggest roof we have, the biggest resistance we have, and would flip it in our favor. And we would see Bitcoin rip like we've never seen it rip before. We're talking about 170K, 175K, 200K within a matter of weeks. 4, 6, 8 weeks would see Bitcoin pump consistently thousands of dollars a day. Some days would go sideways, 1 or 2 days here and there would sell off just for a little pullback, just to reset, just to simply pull back, just for it to pull back and to shoot up even further. So that, there's a lot, right? There's a lot to happen. Now, I think we actually won't respect this resistance. I think we're going to flip it. One of the reasons why I think we're going to flip, ladies and gentlemen, is because when we look at something like this is the total market cap. This is how much money there is in Bitcoin, there is in crypto, right? It's 3.62 trillion. Okay. Yeah, that's a good market cap. But you know what the stock market cap was of like the all-time high stock market cap last year was around 180 trillion. So we're roughly like 40 to 50 times smaller than stock market. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be hitting those levels anytime soon. But what I am saying is there's a lot of room for improvement. And if there was ever going to be a cycle where we go from, let's say, 3.62 trillion to 10, 15, 20 trillion, hypothetically, it would be now. It would be now when there's a lot of crypto adoption happening, where there's the race for crypto, there's the race for Bitcoin. A lot of countries are pumping money, 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 money. They have to put it somewhere. Imagine the excuse you can use, be like, hey, I just printed billions and billions and hundreds of billions of dollars. Where should I put this, right? What would be the perfect excuse? Bitcoin, crypto would be, right? Because think about it, right? Think about it. It's the perfect excuse and the perfect way to reset for a country that deals with inflation and a lot of debts. A country like America, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal, right? Once we start breaking out of this let's just say 83.75 trillion market cap zone, then we should honestly kind of be flying. We really, really should, because we will get something similar to what happened all the way down here. We'll finally get the expansion we deserve where we go up a good amount. We can see if we take the Fibonacci tool and take it from the relevant top to the relevant bottom, it went past the 3.2 area. So hypothetically, if we got something similar where we either take it from this zone to this zone, let's just do this zone first, 3.2 would be around 7 trillion market cap, right? And if we go past it, we could go upwards of 9 trillion, okay? Upwards of 9 trillion. Now, if we took it from a different range, right? If we took actually the whole entire range, right? Take it from this top to these relevant bottoms, this is technically more fair. This is technically more fair. Then we can see 3.2 range goes to 10 trillion. And if we did go a little bit above it, we could even go upwards of possibly 12 trillion. So we could just be looking at a huge pump going to 10 to 12 trillion in market cap. Okay. Underwhelming amount would be around 5.5 trillion. A reasonable, solid, good amount would be 7.5 trillion. A little bit above expectations and pretty damn good would be 10 trillion. So even if we peaked somewhere in the middle of going to 9 trillion market cap, there's still expected, it's expected for there to be a lot of money entering this cycle. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I really doubt the markets are here to top out around 3.75 trillion. Think about it, right? Last cycle, we hit 3 trillion. You're telling me with so much more crypto adoption, with many countries giving the green flag, new rules, no tax on this, pro crypto this, money being pumped into this, reserve that. You think all this positive news and we're going to just get only what? An extra 0.75 trillion in market cap? I really doubt it. I really doubt it. I would be super surprised. I would genuinely be surprised if we would just top out now, or maybe go up to 4.5 trillion and then crash out. I would be genuinely surprised that this cycle would be that weak. Now, I do think, hypothetically, if let's say Bitcoin did do its thing where it says, you know what, this is the top, right? This is the top. Altcoin season is going to be around the corner. This and this and this. I still think we would be making a lot of good gains. I still think for so many cryptos, you could be making 5, 10, 15x fairly easily. But, ladies and gentlemen, if we do continue to push past the zone and we start going up to crazy numbers, and then altcoin season comes, oh, trust me, like something like a 15, 20x should be like more than reasonable, So yeah, that is ultimately it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you want more of these longer advanced videos. And, we'll keep it up to date. We could do it every single day. We could do it every other day, every 3 days. Let me know what you guys want, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.